All right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving into some really interesting research today.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating stuff, actually.
So get this. We're looking at how daily home time is changing the trucking industry. And not just in, logistical ways. We're talking about the well-being of truckers themselves.
Yeah, and this research is really focused on the Milwaukee area. It's cool to see how these changes are playing out in a specific region.
Absolutely. I think most of us, when we picture a trucker, we think of someone who's on the road for weeks at a time, right?
Right, yeah, that's sort of the classic image.
But this new research is showing a different story. A story where truckers can actually have a healthy work-life balance.
Yeah, it's a huge shift in thinking, and it's having a real impact on truckers' mental and emotional health.
Yeah, that's something I think we often overlook.
Absolutely.
We talk about the long hours and the tough conditions, but what about the emotional toll of being away from home for so long?
Exactly. It's loneliness, right? It's isolation. You're on the road all day, often by yourself, and it can be hard to maintain those close connections when you're gone for weeks or even months at a time.
And this research actually puts some numbers to that. Did you see that truckers who are on the road for more than 2 weeks straight, there's something like 60% more likely to report symptoms of depression?
Yeah, it's a significant difference, and it really highlights the importance of those regular connections with loved ones.
Having that support system.
Yeah, that sense of belonging, being part of a community, it makes a huge difference for your mental well-being.
It's like a daily recharge almost.
Exactly.
And it's not just mental health either. This research also found a connection between daily home time and physical health.
Yeah, we all know that sitting for long periods isn't good for you. But I think it's easy to forget just how much time truckers spend behind the wheel. It's their job. And all that sedentary time can really increase the risk of health problems like obesity, heart disease, even some types of cancer.
Yeah, it's pretty alarming when you think about it.
But the good news is that when truckers get home every day, they have more opportunities to be active. They can go for a run, hit the gym, play with their kids.
Right. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just moving around more can make a big difference.
Exactly. It's about making those healthier choices easier. And speaking of choices, this also ties into work-life balance, which I think is something we all struggle with.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it's especially challenging for truckers who are traditionally on the road for extended periods.
Right, because how do you attend your kid's soccer game or have dinner with your family when you're hundreds of miles away?
Exactly. And that's where the shift to daily home time is so revolutionary. It allows truckers to be more present in their lives. They can participate in their communities, they can be there for their families, and that reduces stress and increases job satisfaction.
It's a win-win. Happier truckers, happier employers, everyone benefits.
Exactly.
But we can't talk about trucking without talking about safety. Driving a big rig is already a demanding job.
Absolutely.
But when you add an exhaustion from being on the road for days, it feels like it's a recipe for disaster.
You're absolutely right. Driver fatigue is a huge concern in the industry, and it's something that we need to take seriously. When you're constantly pushing to meet deadlines and cover those long distances, sleep often takes a backseat.
Right.
And a well-rested driver is a safer driver. It's as simple as that. So having those daily home time allows for proper sleep, reduces the risk of accidents, and makes the roads safer for everyone.
Makes sense. It's almost like this one change, this daily home time, has a ripple effect that touches so many different areas.
Exactly.
And speaking of ripple effects, the research also found a connection between daily home time and stronger community ties.
Yeah. It's fascinating. When truckers are home every day, they're more likely to be involved in their communities. They can volunteer, support local businesses, just chat with their neighbors.
Right, those everyday interactions we often take for granted.
Exactly. And those interactions build a sense of belonging and contribute to their overall well-being, and it might even encourage them to stay in the industry longer.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. So it's amazing to see how something as simple as being home every night can have such a profound impact. It makes you wonder, how can we apply this concept to other industries?
Right.
How can we restructure work to prioritize the well-being of employees without sacrificing productivity? It's a question worth exploring.
Definitely something to think about.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
See you next time.